Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our deliciously curious viewers, Triple Chris 30. Thanks for the stacked question. Chris, you asked, why does a club sandwich have so many layers? Because most sandwiches settle for 2 slices of bread. The club, it brings 3. It's overachieving. It's ambitious. So if you've ever stared at that triple-decker and thought, what's with all the architecture? You're in the right place. We're slicing into the surprisingly layered history of the club sandwich, right here on Explaining Everything. Let's rewind to the late 1800s, where sandwich innovation was on the rise, and so was the sandwich itself. One popular story traces the club sandwich to a private gambling club in Saratoga Springs, New York. The name? Literally, Club Sandwich, as in made at the club. The original was simple: toasted bread, turkey or chicken, bacon, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And, importantly, it had that mysterious third slice of bread in the middle. Why the extra bread? 2 reasons. 1. To keep wet ingredients like tomato from making the sandwich soggy. 2. To add structural integrity, because this sandwich was going vertical. It wasn't just lunch, it was architecture. In the early 20th century, the club sandwich became a high society favorite. Hotels, country clubs, and railway dining cars started serving it as a fancy midday meal. It was clean, compact, and packed with protein. Turkey, bacon, lettuce, tomato. Perfect for well-dressed people who wanted to eat something light but still feel full. It even got fancy upgrades: ham, egg, or cheese, depending on the chef and the crowd. The structure stayed the same, though. Always 3 slices of toasted bread, always layered. It was the perfect mix of casual and classy, sort of like eating a tuxedo with your hands. Somewhere along the way, the triangle cut became mandatory. You know the look. Crusts trimmed, cut diagonally into neat little wedges, each one stabbed through the heart with a toothpick like a tiny Excalibur. Why triangles? Because they're easier to hold, because they look fancy, and, let's be honest, they trick your brain into thinking you're eating more food. It also helped restaurants serve a sandwich that felt upscale and intentional. Throw on a pickle and some chips, boom! 5-star lunch. And the toothpick? That's not for fun. It's structural engineering. Without it, the whole thing collapses like a Jenga tower made of turkey. By the 1960s and 70s, fast food and diners adopted the club sandwich, and it blew up. Chains like Denny's, IHOP, and even McDonald's at one point had their own versions of the triple-decker beast. It was seen as a grown-up sandwich. You weren't ordering a burger, you were getting the club. It had veggies, it had layers, it had ambition, and it came with fries instead of chips now. America was all in. The middle slice of bread, still there, holding the piece like a sandwich diplomat. The club sandwich became the gold standard of lunch menus everywhere, from diners to office cafeterias. So, why does the club sandwich need so many layers? Function. The third slice stops the sandwich from going soggy or floppy. Aesthetics. It looks tall, fancy, and complete. Tradition. It's just how it's always been. and people expect it. And let's be honest, it's fun to eat like you're holding a sandwich skyscraper. It's a subtle flex, a layered legacy, the food version of a power suit. And somehow, despite all its complexity, it still feels classic, like comfort food in formal wear. Because deep down, we love our meals to feel just a little extra. Where does the club sandwich go from here? Well, it's already been remixed in 1,000 ways. Vegan clubs with tempeh and avocado. Breakfast clubs with egg, sausage, and hash browns. Even dessert clubs made with Nutella, strawberries, and French toast. Some are deconstructed, some are mini. Some are just stacked so high you need a fork and a support team. Maybe in the future, they'll be 3D printed or delivered by drone in perfect triangle portions. Whatever happens, one thing's clear. The club sandwich isn't going anywhere. It's still tall, still proud, still triple-decking its way into our hearts and stomachs. So now you know. The club sandwich started at a fancy club, got toasted into legend, bulked up in diners, and now stands tall as one of the most iconic sandwiches of all time. It didn't become famous overnight. It earned it, one crunchy layered bite at a time. 3 slices of bread, 2 layers of fillings, endless combinations, and somehow it still feels familiar every time. So the next time you're holding that neatly cut triangle of turkey, bacon, lettuce, and mayo, remember, it's not just a sandwich. It's a tradition, a little piece of food history. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss out on more weird and wonderful answers. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.